You just got $10,000. Maybe it's a bonus, maybe it's a tax return. Maybe it's been sitting in your account for months. You know exactly what to do with it. Pay off a credit card, buy something you've wanted, put it in savings and feel responsible. But the wealthiest people on earth did something different with their first $10,000. And the difference isn't the amount, it's the decision underneath it. Here's the real story. Before Warren Buffett owned Berkshire Hathaway, he was a teenager with $40 and a pinball machine. He didn't spend it. He used it to buy a second machine, then a third. He wasn't thinking about money. He was thinking about machines that make money while he slept. That's the entire difference, right there, between you and a billionaire's first $10,000. You're asking, what can this buy me? They're asking, what can this become? Your brain isn't built for this kind of thinking. Evolution wired you to consume resources the moment you have them, because for most of human history, resources didn't last. Food spoiled, shelter eroded. Holding on to something for decades made no biological sense. So when $10,000 lands in your account, your instinct is to use it now. Spend it, save it, protect it from disappearing. That instinct kept your ancestors alive. It's also the exact instinct that keeps most people poor. Economist Thomas Stanley spent decades studying actual millionaires, not the ones who inherited money, but the ones who built it. His research, later published in The Millionaire Next Door, found something almost nobody expects. Most self-made millionaires didn't get rich by earning huge salaries. They got rich by treating early money as seed, not as reward. They lived below their means for years, sometimes decades, while quietly funneling cash into assets that would grow without them. Not lottery tickets, not luxury, assets. So what's an asset, really? It's anything that puts money back into your pocket without requiring more of your time. A stock, a rental property, a small stake in a business. Compare that to a liability, which is anything that takes money out of your pocket no matter how good it feels in the moment. A new car, a vacation, a bigger apartment. Robert Kiyosaki built an entire philosophy around this single distinction, and it explains almost everything about why two people with the same $10,000 end up in completely different financial universes 10 years later. Here's where it gets stranger. The wealthy don't actually avoid debt, they weaponize it. When Sam Zell built his real estate empire, he wasn't using cash he already had. He was using leverage, borrowed money, to control assets worth far more than what he personally owned. To you, debt feels like danger. To him, debt was a tool, the same way a hammer is a tool. Dangerous in careless hands, essential in skilled ones. The wealthy don't ask, is debt good or bad? They ask, what is this debt buying and does it pay for itself? Now picture two versions of you, both holding $10,000 on the same morning. Version 1 pays off a credit card, feels relief, and moves on. Version 2 looks at that same $10,000 and asks one question: does this money work or does it sit? Not, can I afford this, but what does this become in 10 years if I do nothing else? That question is the entire hidden curriculum of wealth. Nobody teaches it in school. Most people never hear it from their parents. It only shows up if you go looking for it, in a study, in a biography, in a conversation you weren't supposed to be part of. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the most powerful force in the universe, and whether or not he actually said those exact words, the math behind it is undeniable. $10,000 invested at an average historical market return of around 10% a year becomes roughly $26,000 in 10 years. Doing nothing, no extra effort, no new $10,000 added. Just time, multiplying quietly in the background while you live your life. Wait 20 years, and that same $10,000 becomes close to $67,000. The wealthy didn't discover a secret formula. They discovered patience and then refused to interrupt it. This is the part that should make you uncomfortable. The biggest risk to your first $10,000 isn't a market crash. It's you checking your account every week, getting nervous, pulling it out the moment something feels uncertain. Daniel Kahneman, the psychologist who won a Nobel Prize for exposing how irrational human financial decisions really are, found that people feel the pain of losing money roughly twice as intensely as they feel the pleasure of gaining the same amount. That single bias called loss aversion explains why so many people sell at the worst possible moment and why the wealthy train themselves deliberately to stop watching.